I'm Evelyn. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So this video is up a little bit late today. I have been playing Elden Ring for like an hour. Whoops. Was supposed to do the voiceover, but just kind of want to check out or how it worked because I don't have a controller, so I borrowed my brother's and got a little bit caught up in it, but here we are doing a voiceover. So I did this build both Monday and Tuesday. Or no, Sunday and Monday, actually. I think it ended up taking me between 8 and 10 hours for those of you who are interested, because I did get some comments the last time I talked about it saying that, yeah, sure, just mention it whenever you feel like it. And I had a lot of fun with this one. I will say that the house itself it's built on a 40 by 30, but the house itself is actually not that big, but that was also on purpose. I just kind of wanted a lot of space around the house itself because I feel like we're building a house for 100 babies, so like the challenge, 100 baby challenge. And while you still need a lot of bedrooms in the house because you got a full household basically the whole time you're doing that challenge, which I know because I did that challenge at least for a while until I dropped it. It's a very stressful challenge. I do not recommend. And you might be wondering, well, why are you building a house for the challenge if you don't recommend anybody doing it? Well, some people still want to put themselves through the challenge, so this one is for you. I hope you appreciate it. But even though we do need a lot of bedrooms in the house itself to make room for all of those Sims, I feel like when you have a household that big, it's also nice. Like, none of the rooms are too small, by the way, at least not in my opinion, but we may have different opinions on that, but I still feel like it's nice to have a lot of space to just have all these Sims around, if that makes sense. Also, all this landscaping or terrain paint right here, it disappeared after I closed down my game Sunday, so when I opened it Monday, it was gone. I actually redid it, so it looks a little bit different. I think I ended up using tiles instead of terrain paint, just because I like the look of it a little bit better. And the house itself is also inspired by a picture that I found on Pinterest, by the way, so if you've seen anybody else build it, that would be why. I got a comment about that a couple of days, or not a couple of days ago, on a previous build as well, so I figured I would just clarify, but I most often do that unless I forget. I like to state where I get my inspiration from. It's never, if I forget, it's because I forget. It's not because I'm trying to pretend like I came up with it myself. I just know. But sometimes, even though you state that in the voiceovers, someone will still go, well, I saw this person build it these months ago, and I'm like, I didn't see that, or I've just forgotten. So we all use the same, like we all use Pinterest, all us builders, basically. So I personally don't have time to sit around and track what my fellow builders are building, and sometimes we might end up building the same things. I'm sure that there's a house I've taken inspiration from that someone else has also taken inspiration from for one of their builds, so that's just how that is. But yeah, I just thought I would clarify that. But the house was inspired by a house on Pinterest. So I did change it up a little bit. The back, I think I changed the front here with the roofing, but also the back was not shown because I couldn't see like a floor plan or anything like that. So I kind of had to come up with my own thing. I also did the landscaping by myself. I did the whole landscaping, yes. And also, I don't really know where I was going with that pickup truck, to be honest. I think at some point I wanted to turn that little bump out here on the right side, I wanted to turn it into a garage, but then I changed my mind. But I didn't want to delete the pickup, so I just left it there. But I think that's what's going on. Also, if you are a full household, a single parent with 7 kids, you wouldn't have a pickup truck, would you? I feel like, would you just place your kids in the back? Like, is that how that works? Is that the only way you can make room for? I just speaking on Sims terms because we don't have a lot of cars to choose from, by the way. I know you can get like minibuses and stuff in real life. I have one of the families in my family, whatever. My aunt has like 5 kids and they used to have a minibus when they were younger, the kids. So, you know, I know that that's possible. But in The Sims, we don't really have a minibus. But if that was a choice, that would have been an obvious one for this family. However, I feel like for the exterior, considering we don't have a minibus, I went with the pickup truck because it just fit the best. So I've been looking at some questions for today. I actually found a really funny page. There was the question, would you rather have spaghetti for hair or sweat mayonnaise? That is so nasty. But some of the ones were terrible. Hold on. Okay. Would you rather talk like Yoda or breathe like Darth Vader? What? And also, would you rather, this kind of reminds me of something that I said, I think in a video, it might have been over on my other channel actually, but like, have you ever imagined, we're just gonna go off on a tangent just a little bit here, so bear with me, but have you ever imagined what it would be like to be a civilian in the MCU, in the Marvel Universe? Have you ever imagined what it would be like to not have superpowers and just be like an everyday average person in that world? Wouldn't it be terrifying? I feel like it would be terrifying. I would not, like, sure, the superheroes are cool, but I would not want to live in that world. No. So this kind of reminds me a little bit of that, but feel free to answer it if you want to. And also the previous questions. Would you rather be in a real life The Walking Dead or Jurassic Park? I don't know. Let me know. I used to be very into dinosaurs when I was a kid, so I could probably name most of them if I see them. However, I'm not sure that I'd actually want to see them in person, but I also don't want, like, at least some of them are not necessarily nice, but they're not, what's it called, carnivores, so they don't eat meat, like, they won't hunt you down, but they could step on you, you know, that's the thing. But, yeah, whereas Walking Dead zombies are definitely all carnivores and will actually try to hunt you down, so I'm not really sure which one to go with, but let me know what you think. So for the landscaping, I did these little patches with, kind of wanted to try something new. So I did these little patches with flowers in them and then kept the non-flower patches. I actually ended up deleting these like white flower bushes or whatever they are called. I don't really know. Hydrangea? No, I don't remember. It's fine. Just ignore that I said that. But I kept those areas mostly just green. So we have some colorful patches with all the flowers mixed with some neutral patches, and I kind of like how it turned out, so I might do that for the future. Maybe tone down the flower patches a little bit because that red is, I do go back at some point and try to test one of the other swatches just to see, but for this house, because the house itself is so neutral colored, it's very beige, I figured maybe we could kind of just go for the red anyway. But that said, it's a very vibrant red, so I would probably tone it down for some future houses. However, for this house, it would be the same if the house was white, you know? It would, it just adds a little bit like a pop to the landscaping, but if the house was blue, I would definitely have gone for one of the other colors because it's very overpowering. Red is just in general a very overpowering color, so I don't really use it for a lot of things, but I think it works in this landscaping. I forgot to say, but I did try with one of the other, I think it was lilac lavender kind of color. It looked cute, but went back with the red anyway, so I think, or I hope, that explains my thought process on that. I'm trying to get better at explaining why I do things the way that I do, but honestly, half the time, I don't really know why I do things the way that I do. I think I also expanded the house just like a little bit. I made it a little bit, not wider, but the other one deeper, whatever. A little bit off cam, so I don't think I recorded it, but it was because floor planning was, I apparently also chose not to do the rest of the floor planning on cam, but the floor plan was just turning out, actually you can see the bedroom right by the front door is supposed to be for the matron, and it was just way too small, so I decided to just expand the house a little bit. Now it's expanded. You did not see a thing. It's fine. Just wanted to tell you if you were if you're counting tiles or something and you got a little bit confused, you never know. There might be someone out there that's trying to rebuild the house with me. So just in case, I did expand the house just a little bit, just like a tiny bit. Sorry. I should have kept it in the video, but I figured it would be kind of annoying sped up when I'm changing the floors all the time. I just needed the bedrooms to be a little bit bigger, so that's why I did it, but yeah. So as for the interior, I took my time with this, which is also why I had to split it up over 2 days. My hand started hurting as well Sunday evening, so sometimes you just gotta stop. You just gotta tell yourself, you can't work anymore today. You cannot work on this build. Take a breather. Close down your computer, go lie on the couch or something else, because you gotta take care of your... It's the same with people who draw a lot. Like, you gotta take care of your hands and arms and stuff, because it's not good. So, but I took my time with the interior. I wanted it to be very cute. I wanted it to be very cozy. I also wanted to go for a style that I haven't gone for in a while. So while the house itself, it's definitely giving me like farmhouse vibes without actually being a full-on farmhouse. But for the interior, I decided to go for this kind of like farmhouse looking interior. I used a lot of stuff from Cats and Dogs and also Laundry Day, and I mixed in some other packs as well, like country kitchen kit, country living 2, but it's like it's a mix of different things and just going for this very like cute and cozy vibe, but farmhouse vibes as well. And then making sure that you can kind of see, like even on the living room, I wanted to make sure that you could see that there were kids living in this house, so there are some toys in there. I desperately tried throughout the interior to make sure that I could have as many skill leveling objects for the kids as possible. So I just want to explain this now because otherwise I'll probably forget. But when I did, and the times before when I've also done the 100 baby challenge, I would usually place the alchemy table outside, and I don't really know why I do that, but that's a habit of mine for some reason. So I did that with this house, just so you know. It might look a little bit weird without an explanation, so I figured I would just let you know. But it's on the back porch, and that's just how that is. I think, if I recall correctly, it's because it was constantly putting things on fire or something, like setting things on fire. So I just ended up placing it outside, and then that became a thing for me. So yeah, but there is a cool one outside. It's one of the newer ones. I don't think I've ever used it. It looked very cool, very detailed. Definitely not using the base game one because that looks outdated AF. So, but it's outside, just so you know. But other than that, definitely tried to include a lot of skill building items because I know that you can age up your kids once they reach a certain level of skill, I think it is. Yeah. I think it's also got something to do with grades. I don't fully remember, but I definitely, like, grades you can't really decorate for, but skill building items. What? Skill leveling items you can definitely keep in mind when you're decorating homes. So that's kind of what I built this around. It's also supposed to be a dream home for the challenge. So I just wanted to make sure that, you know, it's a house that you can stay in for generations, so you don't have to make major adjustments to the interior or anything like that, of course. Oh, I should probably have said this at the start of the video, but there's room for 1 or 2 parents, because, you know, that's a given, but would probably just keep the 1. And then there is room for 3 teens. That's done because the teen stage is the longest, I think, as far as I remember. There's room for 2 kids and also 2 toddlers. I think it's 2 kids total. Does that not make 8? And yeah, 5, well, it does. 5, 7, 8, yes. So feel free to just, like, if you suddenly have 4 toddlers, feel free to just take out some beds if you need to. And remove or change them with other bits so they fit with your household. But I just wanted to make sure that the house could kind of like, you could keep it for generations, but still customize it to your household. I've only kept 1 high chair for this dining table, by the way, because the high chairs are really annoying in the game. I don't like using them. Feel free to add another one if you need to. But I just remember, like, the toddlers start to cry so quickly when you place them down in the chair and your sim won't give them food. The way that I do it is that I have the sim cook like a big meal, a family meal, place it on the counter, and then I have the toddler actually go and pick up a serving for themselves, and then they sit on the floor and eat. And I know that's not, it doesn't look cute, but The game. The high chairs are so bugged, so I don't really use them. But you know, if you need to. That's why I felt like it was fine to just include 7 chairs by the table, even though like, you know, it is for a full household, but I figured you'd always have 2 toddlers in the household. So if there's only 1 high chair, you're fine. But you can always move the table a little bit and then add another chair if you need to. I just don't like the high chairs, so that was a personal preference thing, but there's plenty of room to move it just a little bit to add an extra chair if you need to. This voiceover is literally just going to be me sitting here telling you guys how you can customize this house to your household while building or while doing this challenge. I know, but I just want to make sure that you know how it works. That I feel like this house is actually pretty good for the 100 baby challenge. I've probably forgotten something, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's probably some kind of toddler trait that I didn't think about, even though isn't one of them potty, and then there's walking or something, there's talking, and then there's but I actually don't remember. I'm pretty sure that some of them you don't need toys for them, but I did place the blocks in at least 2 of the rooms, so we got those covered. One thing I'm nervous about though is children's traits. Do we really need, if they have a creative, like a drawing table, do they also, because the children's traits are a little bit different from the teen and adult ones, so they only got a trait called, not a trait, a skill. What? I meant skill the whole time. Anyway, that's called creative, right? So they just do that, like they train that by the drawing table. They have one of those. I placed down a drawing table. I haven't used one of those in like ages. But when I started doing this house or building this house, I was like, if there's one thing I gotta remember while building this house, it's that I need a drawing table because I haven't used them in forever. But I made room for one. So yeah, there is a drawing table. I'm very proud of that. I just wanted to share that. The whole left side of the house is basically the common rooms. So that's where, like, during the day, of course, when you're playing the challenge during the day, you're gonna have your Sims mainly doing skills, and a lot of those items are in their bedrooms in this house. You could actually do like a skill building room, I suppose. Like, if I had room for that, maybe I'd done that instead of an office or something, but I literally kept it to the minimum, so they don't even have an office in this house. What I could have placed down as well are easels, but I didn't, because I actually remember the last time that I did the challenge, I think, or at least the last time that I wanted a sim that kind of just didn't have a job, essentially. I made them a writer, so they have a computer table right here with a computer on it. I believe there's also 2 other computers in the house, so one in both of the teen rooms. But this one is basically made for, or placed down for, our matron, and that's because you actually earn a lot from writing books. I know they take a long time to write, but whereas like with paintings, it's money right away. However, book royalties, if you build those books up, you get so much money. I don't know if you are aware of that, but in The Sims, writing is a pretty profitable thing to do, to get into. So that's my advice. That's how I did it the last time. I think I've also done another one where I was focusing a little bit more on gardening, but I've definitely also done the painting one. That was the whole thing. And I also know that that's because you could actually get your teens to help you out with that. But I didn't place any down, or I didn't place any easels down in this house. There's lots of room in the backyard for them though, if you really feel like going that route. But I was like, we're gonna make sure that she can write some books because that's a profitable thing to do. And of course, just to make it a little bit harder for you, I placed down laundry machines. But if you don't want them, like, you can turn this into a drawing room if you want to, or a skill building room. I just felt like for a family home like this, it would make sense. Why not make the challenge harder than it already is? Sure, let's just add laundry to it. Also, I didn't actually place down hampers in most of the bathrooms. I think I placed one down in one of the bathrooms. However, the bathrooms are very small in this house, so I just didn't feel like there was a lot of room. But I have been told on other videos that as long as there's hampers next to the laundry machines. It should be fine because as a player you can just drag the laundry to the laundry machine. At least that's what I've been told, so I think you should be good. Super interesting area of the house right here, the hallway. I just wanted to add a lot of shoes and school bags. Some of them are a little bit smaller than the others because as far as I will know, I don't really know if that was actually a good idea. I don't remember if like, do smaller kids, do they have smaller bookcases? Or bookcases? What? My head's in the books, apparently. I don't even. I meant to say backpacks. I don't know why bookcases came out. But anyway, do they have smaller backpacks than like teenagers do? Don't fully remember, but it made sense in the moment, so I just kind of went for it. I just sized down shoes, so if it doesn't make any sense, I'm gonna blame it on that. So yeah, not really sure if I included decorating a lot of the other bathrooms, but they essentially look somewhat like that one. But I did place, if in case I didn't, there is one upstairs that's basically dedicated for the toddlers, and in that one there actually isn't a shower, there's just a bathtub. Of course there's also a potty. There's another bathroom on the ground floor including both a shower bathtub combo and also a potty, so I just wanted to make sure that like you're not stuck with having your toddlers to go upstairs whenever they have to pee, but also so that you can at least bathe two at the same time if you get help from some of the other Sims. I don't actually know if teens can help with that, but in case they can, that's a, you know, that's gonna help a little bit, so. And the other bathroom here on the ground floor, this one is obviously kind of like dedicated to the teens area because there are 3 teens living over here. Both of the bedrooms are very customized to those teens, but you can feel free to redecorate them if you want to. They don't really follow the whole style of the rest of the house, but that was fully done on purpose because I just kind of didn't want everything to be like super matchy throughout the house. I still wanted there to be some sort of personal touch to the rooms. Again, feel free to completely redecorate, change the color schemes or whatever you want to do. Completely okay with that. And then the other bathroom on the ground floor is over by the, I think it's the kitchen, or there's a door to it through, I think it's through the kitchen. I don't really remember, it might be the hallway, something like that, but it's on the ground floor. So, and then the kids upstairs actually have their own walk-in, or ensuite I should say, not walk-in. So they have, there's 2 bathrooms upstairs with the 2 bedrooms, but since one of them was mainly dedicated to the toddlers, I just feel like turning the other one into one that's mainly dedicated to the kids. So there should be plenty of options to have your Sims shower and all that before they gotta go to school in the morning. That's definitely something that I remember being a little bit stressful, like when everyone has to get up at the same time. I just don't deal with the 100 baby challenge anymore. That's just not what I do. Building is a lot more chill, so I'm gonna stick to that. However, I'm not gonna lie, I've been tempted a couple of times to do something with it, or maybe just the toddler challenge or something, but I don't know. I think building is my thing, but sometimes I still want to dig into the gameplay a little bit. We'll see. We do have, I think they are close to announcing a game pack soon, a werewolves game pack. I'm not gonna lie, I am not super interested in like werewolf gameplay. That's just not, I don't think this comes as a surprise to any of you unless you're new here, maybe, but werewolves are not really my thing. So I don't really know if I'm super excited for that, but as far as I know, there's 2 kits coming as well, which again is not really my favorite kind of pack. However, I am like desperate to get new stuff. So we'll see though. I don't even know if they're casts or built by, like, I don't really know. I think it's a given that none of them will be gameplay, considering there's a game pack coming out that's definitely going to be focusing a little bit more on the gameplay aspect than the build one, because it does include werewolves. That's just a guesstimation, but I feel like it's a guesstimation. That's just a guess, but I feel like it kind of makes sense. But I don't really know about the kits. Like, for all I know, it could be 2 cast kits, create a sim kits, and there's nothing for builders. Who knows? I don't know. Oh, and if you weren't aware, if you're not on Twitter, you might not actually know. But yeah, they have more or less teased a werewolf? That sounded so weird. A werewolf game pack. So let me know what you think about that. I actually curious, like let me know, because none of the ones that I've talked to have been super excited have been super excited for a werewolf game pack, but it's been a while since we got any occults too, so I guess this is mainly catering to them. I'm kinda gonna guess that the build buy in that pack is gonna be a little bit like vampires, which is a pack that I don't really use a lot for building. It's not my style. I don't like those kinds of houses. It's just not, I don't really touch it. There's a couple of things that I use quite often, but overall, the pack is definitely one of my least used. And I'm guessing the furniture style that's going to be in the werewolves pack is going to be a little bit like that. Just a guess. But I guess we'll see. Like, for all I know, again, they could be going for a completely different style. I have literally no clue. But I would like to know what you guys think about it, if you're excited for a werewolf pack. See, my voice is failing me now. I've not done a voiceover for this long. Or no, I've not done a voiceover this long for a long time, is what I meant to say. It just came out wrong, completely wrong. Anyway, so I feel like my voice is just failing me just like a tiny bit. But we have done the children's bedroom. We're working on the toddler bedroom, which is kind of tiny, but there's room for them. Don't you worry. You can also place down like if you are at a point where you don't actually need room for toddlers, you can also just take out the beds, place down a bunk bed. There is room for one. There should be 3 tiles, and you're covered. So you got room for 2 kids instead. That is the possibility. I'm telling you, I desperately tried to think everything through. All kinds of family combinations, because I know that you end up with a lot of different kinds of households when you do the 100 baby challenge. So I just wanted to make sure that you could actually like customize it and still have room for everyone. And oh, this wallpaper, decor to the max. Not my favorite pack. We've been through that. We're not going to talk about it again. Or kit, I should say, but also just as a pack. Not my favorite pack. But this wallpaper is delicious. Like, it's so cute. It is, yes, I love it. But it's hard to use because it looks so much. Like, it's so much. If you place it on all 4 walls, it's a lot. So I ended up going for just a couple of, I actually almost forgot to decorate our matron's bedroom, but apologies. We do it though, we're working on it right now. But I decided to use the wallpapers as just accented walls, so just to tone it down a little bit. And then I tried to match the other 2 walls with the flowers on the wallpapers, so it would kind of like tie everything together. And besides that, we're just going for a lot of white, again, to not add extra to the room because that wallpaper is a lot. So while there's a lot of pattern going on that, everything is just kind of not minimalistic, but toned down, if you will. So except from the paintings up here. I really realized while decorating this house that we're lacking paintings, like a lot. A lot of the ones that we have are not great for these kinds of interiors. Like, we have a fair amount for more modern houses, still kind of missing some for more contemporary houses, I feel. But then there's a lot of paintings that have these like super intricate frames or very golden thick frames, and I feel like those kinds of paintings don't really fit in these more cottage vibe kinds of interiors. So I feel like we're missing, there's like a hole there. We have so many paintings, but somehow we still don't have enough. Like, what's that about? So I think I ended up doing most of the layout for the backyard off cam, but that's just because I started moving my camera a lot and I figured it would be a little bit dizzying, or like it could trigger some motion sickness or something. But it's pretty simple. They end up having a sand pit, but a different looking sand pit this time. I I try to do it in a different way than I usually do it. They also have this not rectangle pool. I try to give it some shape. And there's a dining table as well, along with also almost an outdoors kitchen. They just mainly have a grill and a couple of counters. Yes. So the sandpit over here. This is not what I end up looking like. I just remembered that it's because I tried to use the regular method for my sandpits, but I remembered when I was a kid, that's just not what our sandpit looked like. We did have one, it was super small, kind of nasty, but we did have one, and not nasty because it was small. I just think there was a lot of like, sometimes we found cat poop in it because there was like a cat in the neighborhood that just felt like using it as their toilet, that sort of thing. Like, it was a little bit nasty at times, but you know, as a kid you don't really think about that too much. It's fine. But it definitely did not look like it just had like a low fence around it. It was sort of built into not the ground, but it had like wood around it. So I was trying to do that. Obviously the frame for the sandpit is too thick to look like a real life one, but it was the closest I could get. So it looks a little bit different than my usual sandpits, but I had a little bit of fun with it, and yeah, we're just trying something new. But other than that, I think we're mainly doing landscaping and adding some decor. There's a kiddie pool. There's also the, there's two plant pots as well, 3 bicycles, 2 outdoors trash cans. There's the bucket, so you can do like water balloon fights, I think. That's what it's used for. It's from Seasons, but I think that's what it's used for, right? If I recall correctly. I don't think I've ever play tested it, but I think that's what it's used for because I think I've seen that in the trailer. And over in one of the corners, there's also a tent. And that's another thing. I think I've talked about this before, but I'm in a summer mood and it's kind of making me remember all, which is rare, by the way. I don't really get in a summer mood, but that's a whole different talk. I don't like summer. It's fine. But when we were kids, me and my brother, at my dad's house, we would sometimes have a tent in the backyard. Not very often would we get to sleep in the tent, but sometimes we did. We were avid campers, by the way. It's like we're used to sleeping in a tent because we went camping every summer. So sometimes when I do these family homes, I like to place tents in the backyards because I like the thought of the kids being allowed to at least like play in the tent or sleep outside at night or whatever they want to do. Like, it's just cozy. It's cozy to have a tent in the backyard for some reason. It ruins the grass, but like, it's cozy. So other than that, I don't actually know what we're doing for the rest of the video. All right, placing down the alchemy lab table. That one right there, it's just, there it is. It's there, it's placed down. Anyway, and just doing some, all right, this little area too. But I think that is pretty much it. So just gonna fix this little outdoors dining area and then call it a day or call it a build. So if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tray files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box as well as in the pinned comment. Again, you can customize the house to your liking if you feel like it. That is completely okay with me. If you like books, check out my booktube channel. It is also linked in the pinned comment, but that is pretty much all I got for you guys today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. The way your body keeps my heart beat sound, it's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you, can't you see? I want you, I believe, 'cause I want you here with me. I'm gonna go crazy, I'm gonna go crazy. I look at you and know it's alright. You read my mind, but I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you've got style, the way your body keeps my heart beat sound.
makes the sun